Hi folks, welcome to AwkwardHamster. Today I'll be demonstrating how I changed the engine oil on my Lexus vehicle. This car is the Lexus ES 300. It's a 2000 or 2001 vehicle, I don't remember. And it's a bit different from all my other videos because this car already has 100,000 miles on it and there's no computer monitoring the engine oil, unlike any of the newer cars. So the manual says to change it every 3,000 miles, but I do it every 2,500 just because it's easier to keep track of it. Now this vehicle, it uses the SAE 5W30, and you can always just buy that at your local Walmart, Pep Boys. I started shopping at Walmart now because some of my subscribers have been telling me that Walmart sells these things at a very inexpensive price. So this will just run you about $20, almost $20. I think it was like $18 or so, 5 quarts. And as for the filter, I buy whichever is on sale, even if it's Fran. Some of my viewers have been saying Fran sucks. Yes, I know, but it's not that expensive, and I like to save money. The tools you need: a bucket with a plastic bag to catch the oil, some paper towels, a funnel if you have a very bad aim at pouring oil, a ratchet set, a wrench. You don't need a wrench, but I use it. I'll show you why later. And just something that you can lie your back on, so you're not lying on asphalt, pavement. And one more optional tool are gloves. You don't have to use gloves. Usually I do not, but because later on I'll need to go home and prepare dinner, and these oil are very hard to scrub off. I use Gojo. It's a cleansing scrubber. It does a very good job, but the oil smell is still there. And I gotta go home and hold my baby, so try to keep my hand as clean as possible. I drove my car on top of this little ramp here. You can also use a jack, but with this vehicle I just find it easier to drive it up the ramp. Make sure you lock the brakes. If you did not drive the vehicle in the past 15 minutes or so, I would recommend starting the car just to warm up the oil. That way when you drain it, it'll drain faster. And if you just drove the vehicle, I'll recommend waiting about 10 minutes or so before you drain the oil, just so that you don't burn your hands. The oil does get very hot. If you're not familiar with which head to use, it's going to have a whole series. For this car, the Lexus, it's a 14mm head to use with a ratchet. And it's very important that you choose one that fits snugly, fits pretty tight. For example, if I were to take this 50mm one, I can sort of get some grip on it, but don't use it because you're just going to end up stripping the bolt. So this is that 14mm, and when I push it in, I can barely wiggle it. So this is a very good fit. And as the oil is draining, I'm just open this up, the cap on top. This just hopes that it will drain faster. So the air flows in there and out pours the oil. And while it's draining, I'm just show you where the filter is. That's the filter. That white device right there. About 3 minutes has passed, 4 minutes has passed, and then it's almost done dripping. What I'm going to do now is blow some air through the pour valve, the port up here. That way, it would just force the oil to drip out faster on the bottom. Okay, now I'm all done. Next thing is just close it back up. It's just about done dripping. So what I'm going to do now is to first wipe it clean, the bolt. There's actually a washer right there, and I'm just going to clean this a bit. And as I'm cleaning it, I pull off the washer. Now I clean a washer. I'm going to put a washer back onto the bolt. And now alright, that's it. Screw it back on my hand first. Just move this out of the way. That way I can use the ratchet to tighten it. The way I tighten is I like to tighten as tight as I can, then I loosen it just a little bit. That way I know that at least there's just tiny little bit. That way next time when I try to loosen it, I can still loosen it. If it's too tight, sometimes I need to use pliers or something for leverage. Now the next thing is I take this bucket and I just move it to where I think the oil will drip from once I take off the oil filter. This looks just about right. If I look downward from here, I just need to push it back a little bit more. Okay. Now the next step is to take out the oil filter. And for this, I recommend keeping a paper towel nearby, because once you take it off, oil starts leaking everywhere. The filter's right there. Oh, another reason why not to do this when the engine's too hot. Everything over here gets right now it's warm, but you don't want to burn yourself. I was just reminded that sometimes people just don't have the strength to twist this off. You just gotta twist it counterclockwise, because after about 3,000 miles, 2,000 miles, it's on very tight, and there are times when you do need a tool. So I have this tool right here. There's various tools out there. Whichever one you buy, just make sure that you have the room to leverage when you twist it. So with this Lexus, I can just post it here. See how I can just slip it on. And now I can actually turn it here. I probably need to put the camera down for this. The tool is right there. Use two hands to leverage it. Now let me try turning it. It's turning little by little. Alright, so I loosen enough that I can do the rest by hand. Not sure if the microphone's catching it, but you can hear the oil dripping. This is by far, I think, the messiest part, because you can't control where it drips. Oh boy, there you have it. Now I'm just going to clean that area, that surface, before I put the new filter back on. I cleaned the filter area with just a paper towel, scraped off as much of the gunk that's built up around it. That way when I screw this new filter back on, it'll seal properly. And anything with a new anytime I get a new filter, what I like to do just getting a little bit of oil here and just applying it to the rim, this rubber piece, just so that it has a better seal. Other folks are saying to pour some oil into here, but I don't think I should do that, because the way I screw the filter on is this way, and the moment I tip it, any new oil that's in here already will, well, be poured out. To apply on the new filter, just screw it on. And I'm rotating it clockwise. And it's just like the bolt on the bottom. I screw this on as tight as I can, then I loosen it just a bit. Just so I know next time when I try to loosen again, I can. Okay. Alright, that's it. Now, just time to pour the oil. Now, when it comes to time to pour the oil, in the earlier years, the first 15 years of my life or so, I did not use a funnel. And I just learned that, you know what, funnels are not expensive. There's always times when I mess up and mispour, and do yourself a favor, get a funnel. This car is a V6, so I'm going to pour roughly like 3.5 to 4 quarts, lower the car, and measure and pour some more. And the Pep Boys AutoZone area, I always see advertisements now for like these high mileage engine oils. They cost more. I have not used them, obviously, because I'm always cheap, trying to save money. And it's really up to you if you want to use it. I noticed that they cost about like $5 more. My take on it is, cars have my car only has 100,000 miles on it. My coworkers' cars have almost 200,000 miles on it, and they never even use the high mileage oil, engine oil. And I think the trick is just regular maintenance. Okay. What I'm going to do now is just clean this area a bit from the oil that came from the funnel. Seal back up. Sometimes I also like to clean this cap area of any dirt and debris. Well, I always like to clean it. Okay. Just make sure everything is tight, just so that once I turn on the engine, oil won't come gushing out. Now, I'm just going to measure the oil and see if I need to add any more. First, clean it. That way I can get a more accurate oil measurement. Alright, I still need to add a lot more. Now do it very slowly, because you don't want to add too much oil. And just do a little bit at a time. If you add too much oil, you're essentially going to need to drain it. And by draining it, you're going to need to lift the car back up and go through that whole process again. That's about right at the lowest marker so far. Okay. Now it's just over the halfway mark. Alright, so I'm done. I'm just seal everything back up. Well, that's it. I'm all done. It took about, well, because I was shooting this video, 15 minutes, 20 minutes or so. But if you were to do this yourself, it shouldn't take you more than 10-15 minutes. And because these are the old vehicles, they don't have a computer on board to monitor the oil life, so there's nothing to reset. Essentially, just keep a note when is your next oil change. Well, thanks for watching Awkward Hamster. If you have any questions, comments, suggestions, feel free to send to me. Bye.